Hey guys, Carl from Perfect Misplaced. Today I'm taking a preview look at a prototype copy of River Rats from designers Mathijs, Jansen, and Stokkel and publisher 4 Suit Studio. This is a sort of solo and cooperative poker-based card game in which you are trying to build the best poker hand together as a group to take on the evil river rats in this casino world. It's sort of along the same lines of something like Regicide using a standard deck of cards for this cooperative card game, but this time again, as I mentioned, it's got a sort of twist of poker thrown in as well. As a big fan of games like Regicide and as a big fan or somewhat big fan of poker-styled games, I was very excited to be able to check this one out. Disclaimer, as this is a preview of this game, I was given advanced copy or advanced access to a prototype copy of this game from the publisher, but with that said, I will do my best to give you my own honest opinion of the game. With all that having been said, let's head down to the table to see how this game plays solo, and then I'll meet you back up here to let you know what I think. To set up a game of River Rats, begin by choosing a player character, which will basically give you the player abilities, and by that I mean choose one of the 4 aces. Each of the 4 aces, each of the 4 suits will give you a unique player ability. Instead of choosing one for this video, I'm going to choose one at random just so you can see sort of a random combination of things in this game. And for this playthrough, I will be playing as the ace of spades. I will explain what that does later as I get into gameplay, but I'm just going to put that down here for right now, and I may have to move things around. The remaining 3 aces will then get shuffled into the main deck of cards. But continuing with that setup, I will then also need to do the same thing for the sort of river rats or bosses that I'm going to be fighting against, which will be the 4 kings. So I'm going to choose 2 of these as well. This one absolutely happens at random, shuffling them, drawing 2 of them. One of them will be active and one of them will be inactive to start the game. So here we go. The first active river rat is this king of clubs. And the second one, I don't know. And then without looking, the other 2 will get shuffled into the deck as well. And again, I will be moving things around as needed as I play, or as I continue setup, but the next step is we're going to take the 2 joker cards here and here, turning them face down, and I'm just going to set those off up here in the top corner of the screen. These are going to be something that we can sort of earn through gameplay, and you'll see how that works shortly. Next to the jokers, then, I'm also going to place out this card that shows what's called the joker's prediction. I'll explain what this is when I get into gameplay. I just want to show you also on the back of this is a list of what you get when you defeat a river rat, but I will refer to that later when the time comes. All right, continuing the setup, I then have to take my draw deck, give that a good shuffle. And I'm going to place that on the screen. I am sort of at a tight space for what I need to show on screen. I might actually need to zoom out because I want to have 5 rows on screen. But let me see what I can do, and then we will adjust as needed. From this draw deck, I need to draw 2 cards for myself as my hand, which I will set off here. And then I also need to draw out a market of 3 cards, which I'm going to start placing down here in the corner. Again, I may need to adjust as I play just to give myself some more space. But for right now, that's good enough. Actually, you know what? Let me do it this way. Like that. So for right now, everything to the right of my player is the market, and everything to the left of my player is my hand. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be building a sort of hand of cards, or a sort of hand of played cards, which they call the common hand, out on the table below the king's row. Sorry, not common hand, but collective hand. In any case, that is it for the main game setup, but at the beginning of every round, there is a little bit further setup that needs to happen, and the first thing that happens is that the river rat is going to get their hand of cards. And to do that, I'm going to draw and place 5 cards face up, like that. Let me clean things up a bit now that I can see how everything's fitting on the screen. and then 2 cards face down like this that I don't know. And the river rat's hand is going to consist of these 7 cards plus any face-up river rat cards that are out on the table, which right now is that king. And every river rat is also going to have some kind of special ability. And right now, unfortunately, that says for the club, which is who I'm fighting right now, they have an additional 2 face-down cards added to their hand. And given the space squeezed restriction on screen, I'm going to stack those like that because we're not really going to care what they are until they get revealed anyway. So that's their starting hand. And then also we'll turn over 1 card here as part of the Joker's prediction. And this says, checking this chart with a value of 2, the Joker is predicting that I will play a straight. And what that means is, you'll see in just a second as we get into gameplay, if I do play a straight at the end of this hand, I will be able to flip over one of these Jokers face up, and then in later rounds I will be able to make use of that Joker in my hand of cards to hopefully help me score more points or to play a higher ranked hand on my turn to beat the river rat. But with that, we are all set up for both gameplay and the first round of the game. And the way that this is going to play is, on my turn, I'm going to choose to either draw cards up to a hand size of 3, either from the face-up cards in the market or from this deck of cards, 1 by 1, meaning I can replace and see the next card before I draw the next card. And then after drawing up to 3 cards, I will then play a card into my collective hand. And a collective hand for me is going to have 5 cards. And once I've got 5 cards in my collective hand, we will turn these cards over. We will compare my collective hand with the AI's hand. And I call this a collective hand because in multiplayer, everybody's playing into that hand. I will compare that with the river rat's hand. And whoever has the higher hand or higher ranked, higher valued hand will win that round. And the winner will then sort of attack the opponent by giving them any debt cards that are up here. So every round starts with a single debt card, but certain effects throughout gameplay will add more cards to that debt. If ever I have 5 debt, I instantly lose the game. When the river rat has 5 debt, that river rat will be defeated. The next one will be turned over. If I can defeat both river rats by giving 5 debt and 5 debt, I will have won the game. But there are a couple of small wrinkles. On my hand, instead of drawing a card and playing a card, if there are any face-up Jokers, I can instead place that Joker in my hand, which will be a wild card that can be used in any sort of hand at the end of the round. I can only ever use 1 Joker per hand, though. But also the other wrinkle is every time I play a regular card into my collective hand, depending on the suit played, I also get some kind of bonus ability. And looking at this reference card to help understand that, if I play a heart, I can increase the debt by 1. So this is one way we can have more debt in a single round. If I play a spade, I can discard a card from my hand or the market. And this is to sort of churn through cards to find cards that I might want. If I play a club, I can add a card from my hand to the market, meaning storing cards to pick up later, but then also emptying my hand so I can draw more cards. And diamond, if I play a diamond, I can swap a card from the collective hand with a card from my hand. So that's a good way for me to adjust, to fix my collective hand later on if the cards coming out are different than what I expected to come out. Then also, based on the ace I drew at the start of the game, one of these 4 abilities is sort of boosted and made stronger. I am playing with the spade ace, which means instead of discarding a card from my hand or the market, I can discard any number of cards from my hand or the market. So I'm going to have the ability to churn through things more quickly than normally would be true. All right, so taking a look at what they've got, I'm already in trouble because they've already got 3 kings, which means I need to do better than a 3 of a kind and hope that there's no 7, 10, or 6 in here, because if there's a 7, 10, or 6 in here, that would mean that they have a full house. They also, with club, 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 have the potential to play a flush, which is all the same suit. Remember, the river rat, well, both of us will only be playing a hand of 5 cards. So they're going to use their best 5 cards in that set of cards. And again, looking here, this is just a reminder of the different poker hand ranks. They right now already have a 3 of a kind. They could get a full house, which is 3 of a kind and a pair of something else. So I need to make sure that I have at least a straight flush full house, 4 of a kind, or straight flush, and I should really push for a full house if possible. All right, well, I do see 5-5. That's something I might work towards. Right now, playing a heart or playing a diamond doesn't really help me because I don't want to add more debt until I'm more sure that I can hurt them and not me. And diamond letting me swap things doesn't really help at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from the deck to see what I get. I got a 6. Of diamonds, there's no 6. Aha! But now we see diamond, diamond, diamond. I could end up with a flush. I've also got heart, heart, heart. I've also got 4, 5, 6. So I am going to play that 5. Like that as my first card. Again, 5 would let me add cards to the debt, but I don't really want to do that. Then I am going to draw from the deck again, and I get a 3. Okay. Well, 3, 4, 5, 6 is getting close to a straight for me. Yeah. And 3 as a spade will let me discard cards from my hand or the market. Oh, wait a minute. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is already a straight. And a straight would be enough to beat the 3 of a kind, but not a flush or a full house. But a straight is also what I need to get a joker, so I might do that anyway. So let's aim for that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to play the 3, which lets me get rid of things. I definitely don't need this 8 of diamonds. I'm going to put the discard pile right here, like that. I don't need the 8 of diamonds. I'm allowed to discard as much as I want because I have the spade ability. I'm going to keep that 5 there. Yeah, I'm going to keep that 5 there because I may end up pivoting to a full house if bunches of 5s and 3s come out. Therefore, the 6 is safe to put there. I get to draw 2 more cards. So I'm going to draw. There's an ace of hearts. Now we've got ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what else we get coming out. A 2. A 2 of clubs, which lets me put cards from my hand into the market. Huh. Yeah, I might hold these hearts. All right, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to play this 2, which lets me put this ace into the market. And I'm covering because 3, well, I will only refill this if it gets down below 3. So if I have a 4th card, this isn't going to change anyway. And again, that club let me put that there. And I think what I'm going to do, I get to draw 2 cards now. I'm going to draw 5 of diamonds. We'll see what happens. Drawing from here, a 7 of hearts. Okay. Well then, I'm going to play that 6 of diamonds. And I'm going to swap this 5 with this 5. Because I want to hold on to hearts for next round. Because I got lots of hearts coming out. And that's 2, 3, 5, 6. I get to draw 1 more card. I will take that 4. It's a shame that it's a heart. But that goes out there. And I play that 4 right there like that, putting my hand down. That is the end of the first round. So first things first, Joker's prediction based on this 2 is a straight. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a straight. I get a Joker. Yay. Then we reveal all of their cards. And I've got ace, 9, jack, 8. That's a problem. Because now they didn't get any of these for a full house, but now they've got club, 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 club. They do have 5 clubs, means they've got a flush. And unfortunately, a flush is better than a straight, so they win. I'm going to take 1 debt. for me like that. These all get cleared and get discarded. The discards will not be shuffled back into the deck until the deck runs out of cards. So we start the next round. Again, 5 face-up cards for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did see a jack already come out. Then again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because of their ability, it should be 2. And then a joker prediction is a 9, which in this case is a flush, which is great because that's what I've set myself up for. I've got 2 hearts here and 2 hearts here. I need 1 more heart somehow. But we'll see what comes out. Right now, what he has is Jack, Queen, King, potential straight. Queen, Queens. He's got pair queens. So right now, I'm not too worried about what he's got. And I'm going to start by drawing a card from the deck because I've already got hearts. Ooh, and there's my hearts. Okay, so I have a flush. Just a matter of what I want to play. The queen of hearts is there, so there's no way for me to get a straight flush with the jack. But anyway, I'm going to play the 5 of hearts. But I'm not adding to the debt yet because I don't know what. Yeah. It could either be a really strong push or a really bad idea. Flush is beaten by full house, 4 of a kind, or a straight flush. I don't think they're going to get any of those things. So I am, yes, adding on to the debt. Okay. I want to make sure that if they get a flush, which is going to be hard for them, but it could happen, that I have the high card, which means aces are high. I'm going to take that ace, play it again, adding more debt. Turning over a queen of clubs. So there's 1 less queen potential for them. I will take the 2 of hearts and I will play the 2 of hearts. Adding again. Filling again is a 10 of diamonds. In which case I want to keep that jack because 10 jack queen is a potential straight for next time. So I will draw from the deck is a 6 of spades. I'm playing the 7 of hearts, adding 1 more debt. And I'm going to stop with that one because that's 5, which will kill them if I win. This is a big push my luck opportunity right now. We'll see what happens. Drawing again from the deck, ace of clubs. I play that jack of hearts. That is the end, and let's cross our fingers that I win. But good news is that is a flush. This 9 says flush means I do get 1 more joker. But if I lose right now, I lose the game. So this is a big risk. But that's what gambling's all about. I think we just did it. 9, jack, 3, 6, nothing super suited. Let's see, they've got heart, 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 heart is 4. Spade, 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 no. Club, club, no. They got 2 jacks and 2 queens. 2 pair is pretty bad. 3, 6, yeah, that's all they got is 2 pair. So I do beat them with a flush. My risk pays off. 5 cards beats this king. So he gets turned to the side, which means they will still be an active card. So now they're going to have 2 kings automatically in every hand they play. When I defeat the king of clubs, it says the next river rat's hand has 1 fewer face down card. So they're only going to be playing with 6 cards, which is wonderful. The debt from that rat goes into the discard pile. And we flip over our second river rat, which is the king of hearts now. And the king of hearts, whoops, over here, the river rat ability for the king of hearts says, when the river rat wins, increase the debt by 1 before assigning it to player. So it's doing extra damage to me every time it hits me, which is a problem, but it just pushes me to work harder to defeat it. And I do have 2 jokers to do that with. So let's clear and reset the round. That goes there. I do have 1 debt hitting me already. 4 more kills me. They do an extra 1 each time, so 2 rounds of loss will lose the game for me. And we start with 5 face up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 face down. No, 1 face down because I beat the king of clubs. That's great. So let me slide these down just a little bit. So I have a little more space on screen for those river rats. There we go. Then 1 more joker prediction, but the joker prediction doesn't matter anymore because I've already activated these, and as soon as I use them, they're gone from the game forever. So that's not gonna matter, but a 4 would be a straight. In any case, that is still a debt card, and it is still a card that I know is not in the deck. And that's that for me. We're gonna shuffle again in 2 cards. And I have to then defeat them. What do they have? They've got a pair of kings and a pair of 7s. If this is a king or a 7, they've got a full house. And they've got spade, 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 no flush. Club, club, definitely no flush. Okay, so I'm scared of a 3rd 7 or a 3rd king. And that's really it. Yeah, that's all they could have. So if I can get a 4 of a kind, is not going to happen. If I can get a full house, doesn't look likely. Well, let's work off this flush ace queen. I can't get a king club, so that's not going to work as a straight flush. Yeah, I don't love it. All right, then I'm just going to draw from the deck for my first hand. I could get a flush. A flush won't beat a full house, but an ace high flush would be the next best thing if they don't get a full house. Because the best this could be is triple 7s or triple kings if it's not a full house. Yeah, let's push for the flush anyway. I'm playing the ace of clubs, like that. Then I will draw, oh wait, hold on. With a club, I can choose to add a card from my hand to the market. Yeah, maybe so. I'm going to put that 6 there. Then on my turn, I am going to draw this queen and a second card, which does come from there. All right. Then I'm going to play this queen of clubs. That's it for now, because I could end up with the queen, queen if something interesting comes out of the deck. Don't need to put anything back. This does need to get shuffled. Deck comes back. My turn again, drawing another card is a club. So we are 1 away from that flush potential. Doesn't really matter which one I play then. I will put that there, and I will get rid of that queen actually, because now I'm hoping that if I can draw more cards from the deck, I will get more flush. And, ooh, there we go. And 1 more. Okay, well, I do have the flush. Ace, queen, jack. Wow, that could have been cool. In fact, I didn't even need to do that because I could use a joker for the flush. But anyway, I'm going to play that jack there. And I will get rid of this card from my hand. You see, I hope now that I've got an 8, 9, 10 suited for next time. And a queen. Oh, actually, 8, 9, 10, joker, queen. That's a straight flush. We're good for next hand. I need to survive here. Let's see what happens. Drawing 2 more cards. 1, 2. Ah, that's a shame. Because ace, queen, jack. Now I've got the 10. I could have played that and had a straight flush right now. I don't, but that's okay. We will play this 2 of clubs. That is 5 cards. Let's flip this. No full house. Yes. Okay, good. So they've got a pair of kings and a pair of 7s. That's 2 pair. I have a flush. Means I win. They get 1 debt. Everything here clears away. Like that. We reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1 face down. And already I've got straight flush potential. Diamonds let me swap cards. So if I can play some hearts, I could potentially do some real damage. One more goes here. There's an ace of diamonds. Again, 8, 9, 10, queen with this is a jack, we're good. So we'll start with the 8. I will take an 8. I will play an 8 of diamonds. Nothing to swap. Nothing goes out. Then I will take this 9, play the 9 of diamonds. Again, nothing to swap. Nothing goes out. I will take this 10. I will play the 10. Same thing again. Refreshing that. Nope. Okay, then we play our joker like that. Only one joker allowed per hand, but that's perfectly okay with me. My next is I take this queen, refilling that queen, and I play that queen right there. We've got 8, 9, 10, jack, queen suited. Means I've got a straight flush. Doesn't matter what they have. They've got 3 kings of Orient are, and I've got a straight flush, so my straight flush destroys their 3 of a kind. They get a second debt. Unfortunately, it didn't help me hurt them too much. It just meant I won that hand. So again, clearing all of that away. Setting up for another round. I do see I've got some 6s coming, which doesn't thrill me too much. I wish I had some more suited. I've got potential flush, 3 suited spades. Whoops. 1, 2, there's my third 6. That's a problem. 3, 4, 5, and 6. They've definitely got flush, full house potential. 2 queens, 2 kings. If this is a king or a queen, I'm in trouble. Now, if I was better at counting cards, I could probably tell you better if that was. Otherwise, they don't have anything scaring me. So let's see what I can do. Means, if it's just 2 pair, then I can pretty much do anything I want to. If, on the other hand, it's a full house, then I need 4 of a kind or a full house myself. So we're going to start by remembering I still have this that can help me with a full house. Taking a 6. There's an 8 of hearts. That doesn't help me until we see what comes next. Although 8, 9, 10 with a 6 could be a straight. Hold on. Before I did that, that actually should go. No, not that. That should have been there. That goes there. Okay. 2 of hearts doesn't help me either. Hearts is good if I can be sure I'm hurting him, though. Let's see. Spades lets me discard stuff. That's actually pretty cool. I'm going to play that 6. And I'm going to get rid of... that was a mistake. Not really. I'm going to get rid of that 10 of clubs because I don't need it. I'm keeping the 2 of hearts potentially because that could add more debt to them. I've got spades, 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 so that could be something too. Let me draw 2 cards from here because I can play this 3 if I need to. 1 is an 8. Again, potential flush. And 3. All right. Oh, great. Now we have the full house. Now we have the full house. Okay. Then let's do this carefully. I play a 3. Yes. Which then lets me discard cards if I want to. No, I don't discard any cards. That's that. Because then I'm going to take this 2, replacing it with a 10, playing that 2 to add a debt there. And that 2 is something I don't want, but if I take a 6 from there, I can then play that, nope, that 3 to swap a card means this 2 comes back and this 6 goes down like that. I don't have a 6 or a 3 here, but I can play my second joker. So now I have a full house of 6s and 3s. If this is a king or a queen, I'm in trouble because they have a higher full house than I do. It's not. I win with a full house, which means they get 2 more debt. And I only need to hit them for 1 more card in order to win. Resetting again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Just double checking this. I think I may have made a mistake. Hold on. The next River Rat's hand has 1 fewer face down card. I'm going to say that that's forever. It's not clear whether that means the next round the River Rat's hand has 2 less, or the next River Rat, being this one, has 1 less. So I'm going to assume that that's correct. And if I get comments later, I will know, but that's sort of making up for the fact that they had lots of extra stuff. All right, so looking at what they have right now, heart, 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 heart. They've already got a flush. Yeah. And I can't beat that flush because that's an ace high flush, because that's an ace king high flush, so I can't really beat it unless I somehow got ace king queen, in which case I'm aiming for a straight flush anyway, potential royal flush, yay. In any case, they've got a flush, so I need to hope for a full house. But looking at what I've got right now, I don't have that at all. I do see 8, 9, jack suited. Could be a straight flush, but I don't think that's going to happen. There's only 1 card left though, so everything is basically here except what's hidden in those, and I don't remember because I don't count cards real well, guys. So let's see what we can do. First things first, that's actually that, which is sad because there's, oh no, I don't need the heart, I want spades. Filling back in, I need to take a card and play a card, and I'm a little worried. But remembering that, I get to throw stuff away. I'm going to take from here to see what new card I get. Ooh, 7, 8, 9, suited straight potential. All right, then I'm playing a 7, getting rid of this 10 and this 2 using my special ability. Replacing that. And then I know that I can play this, so I'm drawing 2 more here. I just did it. 7, 8, 9, 10, jack is a straight flush. Wow. All right, well then we'll just keep playing like this. It doesn't matter. I don't need that. I don't need that. Play that there. Doesn't matter. Take that there. Take that there. Refill those. Okay. Then, yeah, 7, 8, 9. Let's get rid of these just to see if I can go crazy for a minute. Okay. 10. I want to see if I can get straights down here too. That would be hilarious. Nope. And then playing the last one just out of curiosity. Those go away. Nope. All right, so I do have a straight flush. He adds to his flush, but not in any kind of meaningful way. I win the game with a straight flush. I give them a debt. That's 5 debt for the River Rat. This River Rat is defeated, and we have just won the game. I'll tell you what, this game is not easy, so to be able to show you such a nice win on camera makes me very, very happy. So that is the game. Normally this is where I take a look at components. This is a prototype copy of this game. So I can't really talk about componentry because this card quality is not the quality that the cards will be. I can tell you though that the artwork here is artwork that I love. It looks really cool to see this sort of animals in a casino looking thing. Everything just looks really, really cool. I do love the characters in this game. I love how the sort of characters themselves are this sort of very flat, solid color, almost kind of paper cutout looking artwork. But the backgrounds are super textured and sort of detailed. It just makes for a really cool look. I do love this sort of card back. It looks very sort of casino hotel branded, and I do really love the way everything looks in this game. You've seen it all on screen, so I don't have to sort of go through it anymore, but I am loving the design or the look of this game. Even just as a deck of playing cards, I'd be happy to play any game of cards with these cards. As far as the packaging, again, this is a prototype, so I can't say for sure, but I am very happy with the way that it works. There is a deck of cards. The rulebook is this small rulebook. Again, this is clearly not final production quality, but it gives me an idea of what it's going to look like. And all of these cards, plus the rulebook, fit very nicely into this tuck box, which again, visually just looks really cool. I love the way this game looks. Now meet me back up top and I'll let you know if I love or don't love the way this game plays. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. I sure did, because wow, this is the best I've ever done at the game, and I'm very happy to have gotten that on camera. But let's go ahead and talk about this game. Now, I was a pretty big fan of Regicide. I did like this sort of concept of using a standard deck of cards to play out a sort of new, sort of more gamery, cooperative style game. And this one looks to do the same thing, throwing in poker twist to it. Now, I do have a little bit of background in poker, playing a bit of Texas Hold'em while I was living in Japan with my friends just for fun. So poker is something that I already had a bit of an interest in, and to see the idea of a sort of standard deck of cards cooperative game plus poker smashed together, this game works very, very well for me. And as I mentioned before, I did enjoy Regicide. I enjoyed this one even more. So let's go ahead and get into an idea, sort of why I enjoy the game as much as I do. So at its heart, this game is poker. You are playing poker against the river rats, trying your best to build the best poker hand in order to outplay the poker hand being played by the river rat. And it is done as a cooperative experience. Now, I am coming at this from the solo side of things because I haven't had a chance to play this multiplayer yet. But basically what you're doing is you're slowly adding cards into a common hand of cards together as a multiplayer game or by yourself in the solo game, trying then to take down the river rats by playing higher level cards or better sort of ranked cards, better set collection of cards following normal poker set rules. And the way that this is done is you've got a hand of cards, and on your turn you're going to draw up to 3 cards, and then you're going to play, and I say up to means up to a hand of 3 cards, and then you're going to play a card into the common common hand of cards that's going up against the river rat. Now, before anything though, at the start of every round, you are playing out 5 cards for the river rat, plus an additional 2 cards face down that you don't see. And the river rat is going to use all 7 of those cards, plus the 1 card that is the river rat themselves that will always be a king. And that means then that you are trying to outperform that set of cards. Now, a poker hand in this case will be 5 cards, so you're only trying to beat the best 5 cards. So you've got 8 cards that you're going up against, 9 cards in the case of the second river rat, because after you've defeated the first river rat, their card still exists as a card even though you are not competing against that rat anymore. So basically 7 plus 2 maximum cards, except that one of the river rat adds an additional 2 cards to that row, from which they are going to score their best 5 cards, and you have to outperform those 5 cards. And you only have sort of limited information because of that set of cards. You only have the river rat plus the 5 cards face up, or the 2 river rats plus the 5 cards face up as the cards that you see what's coming. And then there are always at least 2, potentially 4 face down cards at the end of that row that you don't know until after you've played your hand. So there is a bit of push your luck, just like there would be in a normal poker hand when you're trying to see what you need to do better then. So you have some idea of what is potentially possible based on what you see, but you have to sort of predict what could be possible based on what other cards you don't see. And that makes for an interesting puzzle of how can I outperform? I need to get at least this much, and I should probably shoot for this much if I want to guarantee that I will beat the hand. But on top of that, it's not as simple as just outperforming the hand, because you've also got this sort of joker system that's running in the background. At the beginning of the game, you start with 2 joker cards that are face down. And basically what that means is, at the end of every hand, the joker is going to check your hand for a specific type of set. And you will know that set at the start of the round, because at the start of the round, you're going to place 1 card face up out on the table. And based on the value of that card, you're going to sort of look at a joker prediction or a joker bonus card that tells you the type of condition or the type of set that the joker is looking for. So that might be a straight, that might be a flush, that might be a straight flush, that might be a full house, what have you. And if at the end of that hand, the set that you've played matches the type that the joker was looking for, you get to turn one of those 2 joker cards face up. So you're only going to be able to do it twice per game, but this does give you something else to focus on. If you know that you can't beat the river rat in a given hand, you can still focus on potentially turning over one of those jokers, because on a future round, instead of playing a card from your hand, you can instead play a joker into your sort of cooperative hand, the common hand on the table. And the joker is a wild, means it's any number and any suit, which will help you more easily hit those harder sort of sets that you will need to potentially beat the river rats at their own game. So I like this sort of additional element of, not only am I trying to win against the river rat, I'm also potentially trying to get a specific kind of set in order to get a sort of future bonus from those jokers. So again, basically every turn you're drawing cards, you're playing a card, and that repeats until you've played out 5 cards. You look at your 5 cards against all of the river rats cards, meaning turning everything face up and comparing. Whoever has the higher set, the sort of more valuable set, will win that round. But there's a little bit more going on there. First off, when you're drawing cards, you're either drawing cards from a face-up market or from a face-down deck of cards next to that market. And the market will refill so long as there are less than 3 cards in that market. So you do have the ability to choose from cards that you can see, or potentially take a different card that's not the cards you see, if the cards you see are not sort of working towards your set. But if that was all the game was, it really wouldn't work all that well, because it would be very, very random. But on top of that, there's some sort of additional manipulation that you can do, some more mitigation that you can do with the way the game plays. First off, all of the cards in the game are the cards in a standard deck of cards, and you will see them going through the game. And every time a hand gets cleared at the end of a round, it goes into a discard pile. And there are other sort of abilities, which I'll talk about in just a minute, that also put cards into that discard pile. And that discard pile does not come back into the game until the entire deck of cards has been run through, which means if you are the kind of person who counts cards, or at least if you pay attention to what's been going through the game, you know every time you see a card, that card will not come back until that deck is reshuffled. So as you're playing with each successive round, you have a little bit more information, assuming you can remember it or track that information, but you have a little bit more information every round about what cards could potentially be out there, and that gives you more sort of idea what you should be focused on, what kinds of sets you should be focused on, which suits are more likely to be out there, which numbers are more likely to be out there, and that adds quite a bit more strategic thinking and planning that you can do throughout the game. But then also, each of the different suits of cards have a special ability that they activate when playing them out. And I'm going to forget all of the sort of associated suits right now, but let me try and walk through all of the different things that you can do. There is one ability that lets you put a card from your hand into the market, and what that does is it lets you save a card for later, because the market won't clear in between rounds, but it also lets you draw an additional card into your hand. So you're sort of refreshing your hand and potentially holding on to cards for later that might work in successive sets in the future. There's an ability that lets you discard cards from the market or from your hand into the discard pile, which again lets you cycle through more cards, hoping that you find the right thing. There's an ability, I believe diamonds, that lets you swap a card from the cards you've already played in the common hand with a card in your hand, which is great because that means if you start working towards a specific set and then find out it's not going to work, you can readjust by playing diamonds to swap other cards into your hand in order to more readily score on, or whatever, rank at the end of the round to defeat the river rat. And the fourth one is something I haven't talked about yet that I need to talk about. That card that we turned over as the sort of Joker's prediction is also what's called a debt card. And at the end of the game, or sorry, end of that round, whoever wins the hand will give that debt card to the opponent. So basically, whoever loses the hand takes that debt card. And the debt cards is going to be how you win or lose the game. Every time somebody gets 5 debt cards, they are out. So I have to make each river rat score 5 debt cards and 5 debt cards for me to win the game, and vice versa. They need me to get 5 debt cards for me to lose the game. Now that's 10 to 5, but again, remember, I'm controlling the game. They're just sort of happening whatever happens as I'm controlling the game. So the other ability of the card, which is the heart suit, is that when I play a heart, I'm allowed to add a card from the deck into that debt pile. So basically, if I can see that I've got a hand that's really, really strong and it's really, really going to work out, I can start seeding a ton of hearts into that row so that the debt pile gets really big, and maybe with one big hand, I hit them with 3, 4, 5 debt and wipe those river rats out real quickly. So there's this real interesting balance of when do I push the game to proceed faster when I'm doing well, and when do I hold back and just sort of take what I can when I'm not doing very well in a hand. And that's really great because that means not only am I mitigating the hand itself, I'm mitigating the flow of the game and taking small losses and getting big gains all at the same time. And then on top of that, there are sort of character abilities. You start with a particular ace as your character each game, meaning that ace is not in rotation in the game to be played with, but also meaning that you get a sort of extra powered up version of those 4 powers I just said. So maybe you can shed more cards from your hand, shed more cards from the market, place out additional debts into the debt pile, and so on, making things more powerful in some specific direction based on that character you've chosen. And the river rats themselves also have extra powers. Means more cards face down in their starting hand. Means forcing you to play the first card in your common hand face down so nobody knows what it is. In a multiplayer game or in a solo game, you kind of have to remember what you've played down. There's another one that puts the first card into your hand from the top of the deck, so you have no control over what that first card is that gets played into your hand. And the fourth one, I'm not remembering right now, I'm sorry, but again, there are 4 different powers that the river rats have, and also those powers are going to help you in some way, which means that the river rat that adds extra cards to their starting hand, when you defeat them, the next river rat is going to have less cards in their hand because you've done that. I think the 4th rat, sorry, is one that puts extra cards into the debt pile when they win, hurting you even more. So each of the river rats has a power that makes you think about how you're attacking them or how you're interacting with them in different ways, or sort of brings a different challenge every time you play against a different river rat. But when you defeat that river rat, will then give you a sort of reciprocal bonus for having defeated that river rat that was punishing you in some specific way. Now you've got a bonus that sort of reverses that and helps you in that same sort of specific way. So all of this together, this sort of push your luck of how much can I get done in order to beat the river rat, how much can I set myself up for future rounds based on what I've seen, based on what I'm leaving in the market deck, based on what I've still got in my hand moving into the next round. How much am I focused on sort of matching the goals of the jokers so that I can get those jokers to use them in future rounds to help me hit some of those higher valued hands. All of this together really does feel like poker taken to the next level, because now I have some kind of goal I'm fighting for. There's no bluffing so much because I'm playing against an opponent that doesn't do anything except have cards out on the table. But it adds this kind of different kind of thought process to a game of poker Then making this cooperative as well, I'm very excited to try this multiplayer. I haven't had a chance to, but having the ability to play this game with multiple people with limited conversation, because then now losing cards from your hand into the market is not just about cycling cards, but instead it's about leaving a card on the table that somebody else can then draft on their turn to help them in some other different way, because they may have information that you don't have. Or you may have a bunch of cards in your hand that you want to play in a row, but you're only playing one until it comes back to your turn. So if you put one of those in the market, that means the next player can take that and play that on top of what you just played in the common hand. And all of that with limited communication seems like it would be really, really fun. But again, I can't comment on that because I haven't played it that way. But even as a solo game, I'm loving this game. It's very difficult, but it feels so good, even when you're doing badly, because it gives you that push that, oh, I can't lose again or I'm out of the game. I really got to push. I really got to get this hand. I really got to sort of lose a little bit now so that I can build up a super strong hand to play in a future round. And when I play that hand in a future round, playing out hearts, adding more debt, destroying them later with one big hit. It all comes together in a really fun package in a game that could be played with just a standard deck of cards, but the standard deck of cards they provide in this game is beautiful, and I would definitely love to have these cards just as cards, even if I didn't have this game, and this game on top of that makes the package really, really nice. Big fan of this one. If you are a fan of poker, if you are a fan of card games, if you did enjoy the co-op nature of Regicide, because this does have a lot of that same sort of play card and activate ability based on suit that game had as well, but now with the extra twist of poker, which I super appreciate. Definitely check this one out if any of that sounds like something you'd be interested in. I will make sure to leave the link to the Kickstarter campaign down below in the description of this video. That's basically all I have to say for now. I hope that this video was helpful for you. As always, if it was, I do ask that you remember, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon below, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks.